Alright guys, what's going on? Today is Thursday and that means that we are having a date, an immigration date, let's call it this way. So glad to greet everyone who is present online. I really appreciate your time and I hope you guys appreciate my time that I spend in giving back to the community. Sharing my knowledge and expertise, something that not too many attorneys do. And of course, today we have a very important topic. I've been to the AILA Conference in Chicago last week. It was a 4 days conference with a lot of things going on. And today I'm going to share the insights, the updates, or the confirmations that I got from that conference. Okay, so also I want to see your questions, and you can. Today is going to be a broader topic for the stream, so you can ask any type of questions. Okay, any type of questions regarding any type of visa. There is no limit. Okay, and of course you guys know that I love your questions. And there is no silly or stupid question. Even if I explain something and you don't understand, that's totally fine, because I do this stuff every day and you guys, some of you just like, oh my god, there's so much things going on, so I want more clarification, and I'm happy to clarify things for you. Okay, so let's start with the fresh approvals. We missed last Thursday. So a couple of things happened, a couple of approvals. So first of all, EB1A for engineer, okay, transport engineer, which is pretty unusual profession. I believe it's the second or the third approval for EB1A for transportation engineer. Okay, usually it's like electric engineer, civil engineer, mechanic engineer, those kind of professions. But transportation is also a thing. So we were proving the press, the contribution in the field, the critical role, the judging, the work of others, scientific articles, awards, associations, and the commercial success. So one of those rare cases where we proved all 8 criteria. Okay, at least we claimed them. Okay, we don't know how many of them were accepted, but I believe that more than 3, because it was approved. Okay, so it was a very good case. Nothing special, guys. Nothing special about this approval. The second one is O1A for talented businessman in the sphere, in the field of entertainment. Okay, the client is has businesses in the sphere of in the industry of quests and basically creating entertainment for adults, and adults not without meaning of intimacy or this kind of stuff. Just for people who can drive cars, those kind of quests when there are teams and they have to find this little piece of paper and then find a map and this type of things, this type of games. Okay, so he got O1 and his employer is his own company in the US, and he's gonna continue doing those quests here in the States. The third one is the EB1A for a talented musician. Okay, talented musician. Also not very often that we deal with the musicians. We do have cases in this industry, but they more rare. Okay, and he's playing piano. Okay, and in contrast with the transport engineer, this client has 5 criteria. Okay, also rare case where I file EB1A with 5 criteria, but there you go. They were pretty good criteria. And also O1A for talented cybersecurity specialist. Okay, O1 for talented cybersecurity specialist. 6 criteria, we're satisfied. So pretty good case. All right. So let me see. Yes, another O1 for a talented businesswoman in the oil and gas industry. Okay. And actually, this is one of those rare cases where we got 4 criteria. Okay. O1 for a little low to my taste. I like 5, but if they're good criteria, we'll also get approvals. All right, so let's see what you guys get to say before I start telling you about what happened at the conference, what kind of good stuff going on there. Ahmed Salem is asking, good morning, sir. If I apply for EB3 visa, is it safe to make this visa with a company named BDV Solutions? And how long will it take? Thank you so much for your help. Ahmed, I don't, maybe there's something going on behind the scene, but I don't. BDV Solutions doesn't explain anything. Okay, this is just a company. So as long as there is a business need for this company to have you, or let's put it a little bit differently. Let's make it a more proper statement. If they have a business need to create a position for which you're qualifying, and they have the ability to pay, there is no problem. Okay, as long as the owners of the company are not your relatives and you are not an owner of this company for more than 5%. Okay, so I don't want to see the relatives and I don't want to see your ownership beyond 5%, but even 5% I don't want to see, to be honest. Because if something like that is present in the case, 90%, maybe even more, that you will have the audit. The company will have the audit for the recruitment. Okay, and we don't want to deal with that. Not because we're not going to pass it, but it's more resources, more lengthy case, and there are risks involved. Okay, so I want to see a company that's independent from you, and you have no influence on them. So otherwise, there is nothing much to add. BDV Solutions sounds good to me. So I guess they offer you a solution in the form of an EB3 visa. Yeah, one more thing, Ahmed. You and them need to be ready to go for 3 years. For 3 years, maybe even more. Okay, EB3 is a very lengthy process. And there is a wait time for the priority date. Okay. All right. So keep dropping the questions, guys. That's what I appreciate the most when you guys engage in the conversation. And like I said, you can ask me pretty much anything regarding the immigration. So number one, the first thing that I want to discuss with you, coming from the conference, is that USCIS keeps promising, but it seems that those promises are kind of real, because I do believe that's beneficial for everyone, for USCIS, for the clients, for attorneys, for everybody. They are moving towards digitalization of the agency. Okay? And I do believe that digitalization is a great thing for everybody, because you guys will save not only time, because it takes time to print your petitions, to pack them up, to send them to the shipping point. You have to pay for it. Okay, this is additional cost, and because your cases are huge, you know, an average case for EB1A is 1,200 pages at this time. Okay, and every year they're growing bigger and bigger and bigger, because you know, we have to deal with the craziness in USCIS. So it's expensive to ship a few kilos of papers. Okay, and especially if you want to do it overnight, like with a fast shipping. That could be easy $200-300 to do that if you want to do it expedited. So that's gonna save everybody time and cost, but also there's also a component of maybe 5% of the cases get lost. Okay, so not only we wasted the time and the cost of shipping those documents, but we have to do it again. And guess what? You guys are paying. Okay, because whose fault is that? the FedEx, USPS, depending on which company we use, and some of them cover the costs, but sometimes they get lost in USCIS, okay? And so we have the proof, the tracking number that they received it, but for whatever reason they're somewhere, nowhere to be found, okay? So USCIS is not going to cover the cost. All right, so I think digitalization is a really good thing, and they didn't tell us the time frame for the case for this to happen, but they said that they're really moving fast. Number two, also coming from USCIS, and if you guys want to question me, how do we know, like, who are those people sharing that knowledge? So when the AILA conference, the annual AILA conference happens, and it happens in different cities, and it's once a year, they invite the government officials, okay? So this time around, there were a lot of government officials, and from USCIS, from DHS, from CBP and other agencies that deal with the immigration stuff. So it was really cool, and they were grilled, guys. They were grilled, like really hard questions. The people, like last time when I went to New Orleans for the business immigration conference, you know, the questions were like kind of softballs, in my opinion. Okay, there were softball questions. This time, oh my God, those are really like hardcore questions, like pushing those buttons. Pushing the limits was really good, and it's good, guys. That's what democracy is, right? When you get the officials actually answering to the public about the work of the agency and the policies and the law and things like that. So this is really good. So the second thing that I want to mention is that USCIS representative mentioned that they are understaffed for 21%. Okay. So they 79% staffed and understaffed for 21, and this is big, guys. This is huge. This is a huge number. Just imagine, imagine if it's a private business. Like let's say I have 100 people working in my company, right? So imagine if my company was 21% understaffed. That means that we had only 79 employees and we needed 21. I guess this is. We probably wouldn't be able to function properly with this type of damage. But of course, for the government, there's no responsibility, right? There's no cost to being understaffed. Okay, why? Because they're just gonna put that understaffing issue on you, on me, and everybody else but themselves. Okay, and that means that a longer time of adjudicating the petitions. Slower implementation of the new policies, slower implementation of the new laws, and things like that. Okay, that shows to me that they have inefficient processes. Okay, inefficient processes in general, and of course it's a government, and the U.S. government probably doing it better than everybody else. But still, there are problems. There are huge problems. The only good news regarding this type of thing is that last year I think they were understaffed for 25 or 26%. Okay, so in contrast with the last year, it's better. They're doing better. Okay, they're doing better, but not as good as they're supposed to be doing. Okay, so that's one thing. And also, I guess my comment, they didn't talk about it because that's kind of, you know, a very a topic that's very delicate. Let's put it this way: that the increase in the fees that happened in this year, okay, it happened twice, in February and April, for different categories of visas and petitions. The type of fees that they added to the original fees shows that they do not have enough resources to deal with the inflow of illegal immigrants. Okay, and then when I say illegal immigrants, I mean those people who cross the border. Okay, and yes, it's an organized process. Now they have like 2,500 people entering the country every day, basically, that are accounted for. All right, and probably 10,000 that not accounted for. So that's the reality of what's going on. So they kind of put the because they cannot close the border. because the Democrats are in the power, and that's the policy of a Democrat party that bring everybody in illegal to make them legal at some point so they get the votes. Okay, so that's the policy, so they're not dealing with this, but they putting the cost on you. Okay, they're putting the cost on you and us and our clients and everybody else. Why? Because they incorporate the additional fees in the petitions that basically they call them like asylum fees and whatever, meaning that that money goes towards dealing with those illegal immigrants for whom they open up the border. Okay, so that's why I'm voting Republicans this year around. I'm voting for Trump, and I think everybody in solid mind is going to vote Republicans this year, because nobody wants this craziness. All right, so that's just a side comment. Further, let's go. One more thing. There was a director of one of the top managers, the director of USCIS. She said the following thing, and guys, she said it twice. Okay, she said it twice. So she said that USCIS does not like sending RFEs, and they do not send RFEs that are not they don't send RFEs that have no reason behind it. And guys, the first time she said it, oh my god, she got laughed at. There was like maybe like 1,000 people in the room, in a big, huge room, and she said it, and people were laughing. Okay, I was laughing. I was laughing the loudest, because we file like 30 cases a month, and we know that those RFE that come, most of them have no basis. Okay, so that's one thing, but there's a logical flaw and that's what she says, which in my opinion means that it's a populistic statement, right? And the thing is as follows. It's not about whether you like RFEs or not. It's whether you need an RFE for this particular case. Okay? You may not like the RFEs, but you still have to send it if there's no sufficient evidence to prove the case. Okay? And the other way around. So it's not about liking, it's about the necessity. So when the director of USCIS says that they don't like the RFEs, it makes no legal sense. Okay? That's why she got laughed at, and then she said it again, and it was already like kind of boo kind of thing, okay? Because you're dealing with people who are dealing with RFEs every day. Okay? All right. So let's see. Ahmed got some more questions. And Ahmed, don't be shy. Don't think you're asking a lot, because nobody is asking anything right now. So use this time wisely. My wife is in the States on the B1, B2 visa, and she has a dream to study logistics because it's her career. What should she do? And second, would you suggest to change the status? Yes, definitely. I would look into F1 visa. So what she needs to do is to find a college or university that offers this type of education, get I-20 from them. And not every college or university gives I-20 form, because they need to have the policy of accepting the foreign students. Okay, and that involves some paperwork with the government. So they need to have I-20. Okay, so remember that form. So once she gets I-20 from university or college, then there's a process of filing the change of status form. I believe it's 539, I believe. Don't quote me on that. That's 539 or 589 or 85. So there's a form, okay, change of status, of non-immigrant status. And that's what she needs to do. Or should she come back home and make it from the embassy because she don't want to make anything wrong or illegal? Well, change of status is not illegal. The only thing that if she does decide to change her status, I would not leave the country afterwards. So basically, it's kind of playing all in, okay? Because if she changes the status and the longer she stays in the US, the less attachment she has to her home country, okay? And the less attachment she has to her home country, the less likely she would get the visa once she goes back to the embassy. So yes, I agree that the best way is to go through the embassy, especially if her education is bachelor's, master's, or more advanced degree. Okay, because it's much easier to get the visa for those type of degrees, right? Like if for example she wanted to study English, again, it's still good. She would get the visa, but the more advanced the degree is, the better chances of getting the visa. Okay, so if it's a bachelor's, then I would advise. I think the best way to get the visa. If it's something less than that, like certification or that, just let her change the status. Yes, they're allowed to enter the community college. By the way, she's in Miami. Yes, definitely. And you know, Miami is the best city, so she's made the right choice. And community college, it's good because it's cheaper, and she can get like a degree in the community college and then transfer a degree to any other college or university that allows to get the bachelor's degree. So this is a really actually good strategy. It's better, it's safer on the money. Okay. Dexpel. Hi Stanislav. Hi Dexpel. Happy to have you back. Yes, happy to be here. Wanted to know, after O1 I-29 approval, what's the next process and timelines, and if someone doing adjustment of status, is he safe after I-29 approval in terms of status? Okay, yeah, so kind of two questions here. Once I-29 is approved, basically nothing really happens after that, because the approval gives you the right to work in the US, right? So the only thing that you need to do is to get the social security number. So with that approval, you need to go to the Social Security Administration, pretty much by your geographical location, right? Apply for Social Security. You can already start. You can start working even without Social Security. It's just you will be able to officially pay yourself once the Social Security is in place, right? And you can backdate your pays. Okay, there's no problem with that. It's just kind of formality because you have the right to work. Okay, and because it's your own company, I guess you can deal with those back pay issues really easy. Okay, so the important thing to get out of it, that once we get O1 on your own company, on O1A approved, you have to get a W2 payment. Okay, so your company needs to start paying you, and if it does not pay you, that is kind of a violation of the status. Okay, so that's what will happen. And once, let's say you get your I-140 approved, let's assume for EB2 and IW, once the priority date is current for your case, right? And by the way, guys, there was a good move with the visa bulletin, especially for Indians, and I'll talk about it in a second. So yeah, the priority date for EB2 right now for the rest of the world, so meaning no China, no India, no Philippines, no Mexico, is March 2023. Okay, March 2023, which was I think 1 or 2 months move, which is great. And by the way, USIS said there would be regression, but we saw regression for EB3, not for EB2, which is a good sign. So if it goes like this, so now it's June, about a year and 4 months is the difference between the current priority dates and today. So let's say EB2 and IW is approved December 2024. Add a year and 4 months, which would be a year December 2025 plus 4 months. It's more or less March, April 2026. That's when we will be able to file the 485, the adjustment of status. And your current then status O1 would be no problem. Okay, but make sure your company pays you. okay, all this time, because I saw RFEs on that issue, and on top of that, the government officials they say that's that type of paperwork is up to request for USCIS, okay, to prove that your status was not violated. And also, let's go back to the visibility thing. So the DHS director, he was telling us how they calculate. Not that we didn't know, but again, it's it's good to hear that it's the same policy. For them, it's not exact. Okay, so all those dates that they put in the visibility, they are more forecast. Okay, because they look at the current workload for the particular visa type. They look at the approval rate for those visas, and they look at the prior backlog. Okay, and they foresee those dates for the future. That's how they create those tables. Okay, those dates, and that's how they move those dates, because they forecast what's going to happen in the future. So because any forecast has no exact meaning, that means that those things can change pretty fast. Okay, they can change pretty fast depending on the circumstances and what's going on in the industry. And good move for Indians, guys. Good move for Indians for EB1A. Oh my God, it moved almost 1 year. It moved almost 1 year, which is amazing news. It moved from March 2021, I believe, to March 2022, something around those lines. Okay, so it moved almost 12 months. So, and that's that's the proof of what I'm talking about, right? So something changed really fast, and 1 year jump is huge. But there you go. That's the reality we live in. So great for our Indian clients, okay, especially those who are on H1B with EB2 approved and who will be filing for EB1A, because we can substitute those priority dates. And if your EB2 was approved before March 2022, there you go, we can adjust your status. So good news. Dexpel, also once approved, will wife and daughter get O3 immediately in the same timeline? Good question. So basically, it's going to be a lag. It's going to be a delay for O3. Probably around 2-3 months, not more than that. But for the purpose, let's say, of school for the kids, right? Because I guess that's the most important stuff, like when the kids can go to school. So for the purpose of the school, I mean, they can go, because once the status changes and they get the official paperwork, they're gonna backdate. Okay, they're gonna backdate to your original approval. Okay, so there should be no problem. So that's the good news. And for the wife, I guess it's maybe if she wants to go to school, yes, then she'll need to wait for the official paper from the government. But because O3 does not allow to work, then for that purpose, that will not help her. All right. So Akshay, how to apply C1D visa and how to get appointment early. So Akshay, I don't deal with those type of visa, and I believe C1 is a crew visa for the cruises and like ships and things like that. And to be honest with you, I have no idea. I've never applied for them. I don't have qualification to basically answer that question. So I guess the best thing for you is to go on the USCIS website, and then they're gonna give you the all the explanation how to apply. You will learn. As to the appointment time, look at the embassy of your country and see the timeline. Usually you can see what's going on with timing. My best guess probably about 2-3 months. FIMS fashion. What is the minimum wage for 5 employees that I need to pay in 1 year under L1 visa? All right, really good question, FIMS. Really good question, because that shows to me that you did your research and at least you watched my videos. Okay, so this is a good sign that you putting your thought and time into this visa. This is commendable. So as to the wages, the market wages, FIMS. Okay, there's no nothing in the law tells us how much those employees need to pay, how much they willing to work for. That's the proper question, I believe. And of course, it's not required to get those employees right away when you open up the new office for L1, but you can hire them closer to the end of year 1. Okay. And the whatever they're willing to work for. But I want to see 1 or 2 people working in a manager position. Okay, so we could show you the 1 or 2 managers on the second line, and then people who report back to 1 or those two people. And by the way, let's connect that with one of the updates from AILA. So they were attorneys at the panel who delivered the updates for L1, and they said, one particular guy said that he believes that sometimes 1 or even 2 people at the end of year 1 is enough to show the employees, and like 3 to 5 people at the end of year 3. Okay, I'm really skeptical about this. I'm very skeptical about this. Maybe if it's IT or architecture or engineering or medical field, if those 1, 2 people are professionals, maybe. Okay, maybe. And even that, you know, I would be nervous. I would be really nervous about that, and probably I would make you to sign a waiver. Okay, I would, if you would start pressing me, Stanislav, file the case like this, I would say I would file it like this only if you sign a waiver. Okay, what is a waiver? A waiver is a document that basically says that I told you about the risks concerning this type of filing, and you take and you waive my responsibility, my professional responsibility for your case, based on this particular thing. Not everything else, right? This particular issue, okay? And I tell you right now, guys, that the waiver has a magical effect on you, okay? Because if you start saying, Stanislav, and not only concerning L1, any type of visa, sometimes the clients start, you know, pressing the team and myself, let's file like this. Once I say, I will do this, I'm not gonna do this, but the only way I will do this if you sign a paper relieving me from any responsibility concerning those issues that I highlight, okay? And poof, magic happens. And maybe 90% of the people don't sign, okay? And do what I tell them, okay? 10% sign and take responsibility. So, yeah, I think that maybe there were cases with this particular attorney where they got approval for particular business in this particular situation with 2 people under the control of the CEO after end of year 1. Okay, but that's not what my practice shows. Okay, even sometimes with 3-4 people we get RFEs questioning the position of the CEO, saying, hey, it seems like that number of employees does not relieve the CEO from administrative and operational duties. Okay, and that makes a lot of sense, right? Like, who's picking up the phone, who's replying to the customers, who's doing, who's tracking the operational processes in the company, who are those people? And if there is no position that does that in the company, that means that the guy is doing that. Okay, and that's not what we want to see in the L1 petition. Not in initial, not in extension, not in transferring to EB1C, the green card. All right. So good question, FIMS, very good question. Dexpel, also when you say filing 485, how soon does 485 gets approved and we get the green cards? let's say we are priority date after 16 months. So basically, what Dexpel is asking, when the time is good to file 485, and 485 is the form which is a request to the U.S. government to change the non-immigrant to the immigrant status. Okay, and of course there are more papers in there. There's I-131, I-1765, and there's more stuff in it. So it's a package. Let's put it this way. Dexpel. Let's assume that you provided everything, the medical exam, the photos, and everything that we need to provide. I would say that approval is one thing, because it could be approved and the green card is not coming, So let's attach it to when exactly you will get your green card in your hand, okay? And that will happen anywhere from 1 month to 12 months, okay? And you're like, oh God, what's going on here? That's the reality, guys. Okay, this is just the reality, And there is nothing we can do about it. Okay, like I said, they're 21% understaffed. So this, if you got to this particular immigration center in Virginia or California, maybe they have no problem with staffing. Okay, and they will send you the approval, send it within 2 months. Okay, and if you get to the center that has problem with the understaffing, then maybe they will take 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 months. Nobody knows. Okay, but the average is anywhere between 3 to 9 months. Okay, so basically 6. So that's what's going on right now. Femi, hi Shamayev. Hi Femi, what are the next steps after submitting an I-140 petition? So, assuming that you got approval for I-140, things gonna happen as follows. If you are in the US and your priority date is current, okay? And let me take responsibility to assume you are from Nigeria, okay? We have a bunch of clients from Nigeria, probably around 15 people right now. So I'm looking at the name and the last name, it sounds Nigerian, and let me know if I'm wrong. So there's no additional backlog for Nigerians, okay? So if you are in the US, you can file I-485, that form that I just explained how it works, and get your green card within 1 to 12 months. Okay, those are the steps. If you are outside of the US, then your case goes to NVC, National Visa Center. Within a week, you will get a letter from NVC with your account number, so you can establish your account. Then you start filing the paperwork, DS-260, all these medical documents, all these documents related to the crimes that you've never been convicted of a crime and things like that. And once we get that in, they send the case to the embassy, and then they will schedule your interview with notification 1 month in advance. So if you want the timing for this process, after the approval, within 9 months, in about 9 months, you will get your interview scheduled in the embassy, and that's where you get your immigrant visas issued. Okay, and you will have 6 months after that. Very important. 6 months after the issuance of immigrant visas to come to the U.S. and activate your visas, which means they will turn into the actual green card. Okay, Dexpel, Stanislav, thank you so much for the answers. Also very informative. My pleasure. Just to extend on all three. If I have I-129 approval, wife and daughter status is also safe, right? Yes. Because it's 129 for you, and let me remember, 539, I think that's the form. Yes, 539. I was right. Yeah, so we will file I-129, that's your case. That's your company petitioning you for employment. And along with I-129, we will attach I-539 for your spouse and I-539A for the daughter. Okay? So your I-129 gets approved within 2 weeks with expedited processing. So, and which means that the status of your family is kind of pending approval of the change of status. Meaning that if you guys go beyond the 6 months of B1, B2 status that you entered with, it's no problem. Because once they get approved, it's going to be backdated to the date of approval of your I-129. Okay, so no problem here. Yes, and you add the expel that they are also in B1, B2. Yeah, no problem. Because you said 2-3 months, lag in 03, but then they will be over. Yeah, they will be overstaying for the purpose of B1, B2, but because we did the filing before the expiration of B1, B2, it's gonna connect. Okay, so yes, there's gonna be a gap, but once they get the approvals, that gap is gonna be closed. Okay, so no biggie here. All right, guys. So let me give you a few more updates for. I have a bunch of things to say, but because you guys kind of were active today, so give me a few more questions, guys. I'd rather answer your questions. And while you're doing this, if at all, let me tell you. I think one of the important. I believe it's one of the important things that I got out of the conference, and I think this is important. It's more important for me and for you. Okay, it's not important for other attorneys and for the conference whatsoever. So there were a few sessions on O1, EB1A, EB2 and IW, and other business and investment visas that I've specialized at, right? That's the visas I do. And I think a pleasant thing that I saw in this conference and others before, that the questions, the new questions, innovative questions or problems that attorneys bring up at the panels are something that me and my team and my company, we already resolved many months ago. Okay, what does it actually mean? What's the practical thing? And I do believe that we are the leaders in this industry for talent visas and business and investment visas, because we get a lot of cases. We get a lot of trust from our clients, and because we have a lot of cases and we get a lot of good results, we get those documents and we can see the trends. We can spot the problems way before than the attorneys that file 3, 5, I don't know how many cases they file a month. Okay, because we file 30 or more. Okay, so because we have that big workload and we get more answers and all these documents from USCIS and maybe RFEs, just proportionally, right? The more cases you file, just proportionally you get more RFEs compared to other attorneys. Okay, so we can spot those issues way before, because if it happened once, well, okay, maybe it's a mistake. If it happened twice, okay, you become suspicious. If it starts happening 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and we see that there's something going on, we have to address it in all the cases that we file. Okay, so let's say we spotted for EB2 and IW last year, 2023, in summer, that officers start putting a lot of emphasis on contribution in the field for our clients, which is not in the law and which is not a part of the policy, the current policy and manual that they use to adjudicate the cases. So yes, we are ready to tackle and attack the immigration officer on this issue. If they're talking about, oh, you didn't show the contribution in the field, so it doesn't look like you're not well positioned. It has no legal basis in the law to make this argument. Okay, so of course we fight it and we do it successfully, but But because we know that something is going on regarding this issue, maybe there's inner policy within USCIS that they want to see that and things like that, then we kind of have to incorporate already the answer to the potential RFE in our petitions, although we know and they think it's kind of illegal request. Okay, but because we're not in the business of arguing with USCIS about the inner policies, we are in the business getting results for you. We have to do this. Okay, we have to be flexible. But of course, we're going to be reporting those cases to AILA and talking to other attorneys, saying like, hey, they're doing it illegal. But through that, we kind of make our petition stronger. Okay, and let's say like this issue of contribution in the field will raised by the attorneys. Oh, we're starting noticing. We not only noticed it a long time before, we already incorporated the response to this thing. Okay, so in other words, guys, I believe I cannot say with the best and with the top #1 because I don't know everybody who is doing this, but we're definitely at the top. All right, Femi, thanks, Shamayev. What's your advice for the dependent, husband and children? I guess, Femi, you're still talking about the next steps for I-140. Same thing, Femi, same thing. Nothing different. Okay. If they are in the U.S., you adjust the status for them as much as for you. If you in the US and they are not, then you adjust your status and then they go through the embassy. If you guys all outside of the US, you all go through the same process of going to NBC and all the stuff that I already described. Jagna, is it possible to get a job sponsorship and get a green card in the US? Absolutely. Jagna, that's the way this industry works. If your question is aiming to me, is it possible for me to get a job sponsorship somehow? We don't do this. Okay, we don't do this, and we don't do this mostly because there is a conflict of interest. Okay, I believe there are attorneys who say, hey, hire me, pay me $50,000, and I'll find you the employer and sponsorship, and I'll help you to get the green card. Not to say that it's illegal, okay? I'm not saying it's illegal, but I think it's in a very gray zone, super gray zone. And I do believe if that issue surfaces at some time with this particular attorney who does that, every single client who got approval with this attorney in the past is under the radar, okay? So I think it's a huge risk, first of all, for you guys, okay? Because those attorneys, they will get away with it, most likely. Or they will get some, some little damage to their business and their license. But you guys may lose things, okay? You may lose your green card. You may even lose your passport. Imagine, Jagna, just think of it for a second. You get your EB3, you and your family. You come to the US. You start living, you start working, you already forgot about everything. 5 years passes, and you go file for citizenship for N400. And at the interview, you start getting questions about the ways you got your employment and things like that. An officer does not believe you or think that there is a fraud or something like this, and they start they're not only gonna give you the citizenship, they're gonna revoke your green card. And imagine the damage to you and your family at that time. It's unbelievable, for so many years. And your kids go to school and college, they're already Americans, and you're already American, and you're making money, you're happy, you travel, and so that's why, guys, that's why when you work with me and my team, I guarantee this will never happen to you. Never, ever, ever. Because we don't do anything illegal. We're very meticulous about our reputation, about our clients and your future, okay? And we will never get investigated. We will never get anything that will put you on the radar, okay? That I can guarantee 100%. All right. Matija, SW developers, the best way to immigrate in the USA. Not sure what SW, maybe it's software. Okay, I believe it's software developers. Matija, I have a simple answer to you. O1, EB1A, EB2 and W. Those are the simplest, the best ways. Only for the past 3 months, I got approved probably around 20 IT people for EB1A and for O1 and for EB2 and W. Okay, and for my whole career, probably 200 cases just for IT, I had only one denial for EB1A. Okay, everybody else got approved, so it's almost 100% hit. Okay, if you're a software engineer, if you're cybersecurity, if you're a blockchain specialist, if you're an engineer, if you're a doctor, if you're any STEM category, okay, we'll get you approved. Okay, for whatever, and of course it could be O1 first, then EB1A or EB2 and IW. That's what the expel is talking about, right? Like, if I get O1 first, can I then switch to EB2 and IW or EB1A? Yes, exactly. That's what's going on. But software developers are really in huge demand here. Okay, so all you guys, IT guys, or businesses in IT and innovation, those are really good petitions. You know, I really like them. All right, guys. So one last thing, but not less important. Don't forget that your way to start your immigration journey, okay? Your immigration journey starts with a free evaluation, okay? Free evaluation. What is it? I have a form, so let me give it to you. Give me 1 second. So EB1A/O1, okay? So I'm sending you the link right now. So you press on this link, you answer all the questions in it, and within 2 days I get back to you with initial qualification of your case. And also I will give you NIW, okay? EB2 NIW link. You can fill out one or both. It doesn't really matter, okay? So that's how you guys know if you have the potential. And if you do have the potential, then I will invite you to the complex immigration planning, where I will draft a written winning strategy for your case. And then that strategy becomes the part of your future petition. Jackie, okay, let's do the last question, guys. What website can I verify Shamayev's registered company? Jackie, I love this kind of question, guys. Look, let me comment on this. I love this kind of questions when you guys question things. When you question, who is Shamayev? Does he have a Florida bar license? Does he have a company? How do I verify it? Guys, I love it. Why? It's a little sad personally when somebody questions your qualification, right? And of course, like, if somebody questions your qualification, you'll be like a little upset, right? But I look at it from the standpoint that you guys have analytical reasoning, okay? You ask questions and you're not afraid to ask those questions. And this is really good because it shows me that when you start working on your cases, you guys going to be doing the same, and that's why you're going to produce a better quality papers, okay, better quality documents, because you question and you want to know the answers. So Jackie, I appreciate your question. So you can easily do this if you go to sunbiz, I think it's sunbiz.org, sunbiz.org. That's the but you can find it easily on Google. If you even forgot the name, you can go on Google and you put a Florida corporate registration, okay, and you will get to the website, and you'll find the search for the corporations and the companies, and you can put there, just put my last name in the search, Shamayev, and you'll see Shamayev Law PA. We have a fictitious name, Shamayev Business Law, and you'll find all the documents back dating back to 2015. Okay, 2015, all the registration, all the numbers, tax ID, everything you want to know. Okay. All right, guys. Good session. Good session. I didn't tell you everything I wanted, but because you guys were active, I love it. I love when you guys engage in the conversation. I see that you missed me because we didn't do the session last Thursday. So I'll see you next Thursday. Next Thursday, same time, same place. I will be traveling in 2 weeks. Okay, so I will be out for the whole week. So in 2 weeks, I'm not going to be here. Okay, so get your questions for this Thursday and the following Thursday, because we're going to skip the one in 2 Thursdays. Otherwise, guys, my name is Stanislav Shamayev. I'm a lawyer of the future. Your future begins here. Good luck.